Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Free Education Friday. I'm Charles Noonan, I'm the host, and I'm about to share with you guys some information on where you can get free funding, free education on Landbank properties, free education on auctions. And today, because it's Friday and I do the free education thing, I'm going to give you guys information where you can go to the auction. I'm talking about like next week and then the following week. But you can't go without the money, so I'm going to give you the money too. All right. So I prepared some information for you guys. We'll pull it up now. Hold all your questions till the end, please, if you have, because I really want to get started. And we got people to serve. This room is getting crowded. Every single week, we're getting more and more people for Free Education Friday. So I appreciate you guys sharing the information. If you miss an episode, you can go to YouTube, the Landbank Show on YouTube, okay? I'm Charles Noonan. I am officially your host for Free Education Friday today. And right here on the screen, what I prepared for you guys is an example of what a land bank property is. This is a door, and before the picture is a door, and I turned it into dollars. All right, that's the after picture. This picture right here, if you guys can see it, these are two doors. So this is a land bank house. We turned two doors into dollars on the land bank team. So I'm going to share all of that stuff because it's not important. Nobody cares that I did it, right? Nobody cares that I did it. You guys all care about how you can do it. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can do it too. I'm going to show you how you guys can do it as well. All right. For those that don't know me, somebody may have shared this information. I know Free Education Friday is starting to take off and it's starting to like expand throughout social media, which I think is the perfect platform for the type of revolution that we need. So I'll just do a quick intro. I'm Charles Noonan. I'm the founder of the Landbank team. I'm a New York City developer, and I own over 400 properties debt-free, all right? As a leader in 2023, I helped over 1,000 families buy land or land bank houses. And this year in 2024, I'm helping over 1,100. I'm going to take on an additional 100 team members this year where I could help you guys buy properties. But today is about free education, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So look, y'all wanted to know right off the bat, right? Everybody wanted to know right off the bat, where's them properties that he be talking about? So here's what I did. We're going to set Free Education Friday off today. We're setting it off. We are setting it off with the Macon County Land Bank. All right, so take this. If you are on this live right now, go to the slide section. I already prepared the handout for you. All right, I already prepared the handout for you. So here we go. Just go to your slides, and now you guys can see. Go to the slides tab. You guys are going to actually get this information so that you can go to the auction and buy these properties. I'm going to give you the money shortly after. Okay, I'm going to give you the money to go buy these properties shortly after. But let me just give you all the information right now so you guys could understand. This auction is April 2nd, Tuesday, April 2nd. You guys can pull up at the auction. It's the Macon County Judicial and Rem auction. It's the land bank auction that you guys are going to be able to go to, right? Let me give you the address. It's being held at the Standard Building, located at the entrance of Central City Park at 206 7th Street. All right. I know I had to get close because the slide is super small, but if you're a part of Free Education Friday, you actually get this information. You can have it. You can take it. Go to that auction. All right. And if you got the slide, right, if you comment Friday and you guys got the slide, you actually get this in a handout prepared for you. Cool. So here's what I want to explain. Oh, let me take a quick step back, because now you got entire houses like this, right? You got entire houses like this on this auction for $3,000, $4,000. They're starting $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Okay. Now, if I got you guys $10,000, you possibly could buy anything that you want at this auction. All you got to do is research the information that's on here, Google, Landglide. There's a bunch of sites where you can research the information. Now you go to the auction and buy. From this particular auction, when you buy it, you own it outright. You own it free and clear. There's no compliance. You don't have to do anything. Right here is 60 properties I'm showing you guys. 60 properties I am giving you guys to go buy from this. And this is about an hour away from Atlanta, from this auction right here. Look at the prices. Look how low they are. They're $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for an entire house. Some of these of the 60 are land, but some of them look just like this. All right. Now, I gave y'all a government site, but some of y'all want to know, why are they so cheap? Right. So I'm going to tell you what land banks are. Land banks are public entities that are solely focused on converting problem properties into properties of productive use. There are 250 land banks across the United States. When you buy properties from the land bank, they come with clear title and they're debt-free, no liens, no delinquencies. Of course, so that's a huge benefit to us. The benefit to the city, okay, is that they get the property back on the tax roll. You must agree to renovate some of the houses if you buy them. If you buy land, you really don't have to do anything. You own it outright. The particular land bank that I just gave you guys, you don't have to do anything. Once you buy it, you own it outright. It is yours for free. You can have it forever. Guys, I see some of you guys are putting questions in the chat. The only thing I want you to do, I want you to hold your questions for later. Hold your questions for later. Please hold your questions for later. All right, we're going to get to your questions. Everybody's questions going to get answered. So here's why I'm doing this. And some of you might even want to know, like, hey, well, Charles, what are you doing in just sharing this information like this? I own 400. I can't own like all the properties that are available. So I'm sharing it with you guys because as minorities, there's a problem with home ownership. We are lacking home ownership. But it's deeper than you think, because at some point soon, there won't be any homes available to be purchased. America right now, according to the New York Times, has a huge housing problem. And part of the reason why I'm sharing this is because if America has a problem, the Black and brown community has a huge problem. When America has a small problem, our community has a huge problem. Take, for example, COVID. America caught a cold, Black and brown community died, okay? A lot of us died. We died in alarming rates. And this is a very similar parallel to where when America announces there's a problem, like this New York Times article, we have to realize that it's going to affect us more than any other ethnic group out there. So this article talks about the housing market prediction for 2024 and home prices being affordable again. If you or anybody you know wanted to buy a home recently, it became really hard, right? It's a huge challenge to buy a property today. All the stuff you got to go through with banks and everything. It just presents a huge problem. So that's the American problem. I want to kind of share with you guys the reason we have that problem. The reason we have the problem, and this article I'm sharing is from the New York Times. It talks about new legislation was proposed to take Wall Street out of the housing market. I don't know how many of you saw the article on the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times about corporate America being in the housing market, but corporate America has invaded the housing market, particularly the single family housing market. So if you wonder why realtors are starting to say there's a housing shortage, if you wonder why they're starting to cut commissions on realtors, they don't want realtors to be able to sell these properties. All the single family homes, they don't want realtors to be able to sell them. Corporate America has been buying up all of the single family homes that they possibly can until legislation recently passed saying they could only buy a certain amount and that they could not buy all the properties that they were actually trying to buy. So here's another reason why it's extremely important to understand the context in which I share this information. I share it because we as minorities have to buy every single property that we can afford to buy and that's available to us within our respective budgets. All right. So I shared that land bank with you because I want you to be able to have the resources. And that's why I put this Free Education Friday together, because what I understand is we have to be able to fund these properties. So what I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to give you guys some funding resources where you can just go buy these properties that I'm sharing with you at these super low cost. All right. So we know there's a housing shortage. We know we have identified the problem in the housing market is that corporate America is buying all the houses. And if you pay really close attention, you guys would understand and you start to see they're slashing the real estate commission rates, right? They're slashing the rates. Corporate America is buying them. Corporate America is invading the single housing market at an alarming rate. But I want you guys to be able to buy them, right? We now have to understand we have to buy these properties. We cannot hoard money anymore. We can't save our money anymore. We have to invest it. We have to buy properties, because what good is money if you don't have any real estate? If you're just going to pay rent to your management company, or if you're just going to pay rent to your landlord, your money is basically their money. It's just a matter of time before you actually have to hand it all over to them. All right. So what I shared here, here's another auction. And every time you guys hear auction alert, I want you to put in the chat auction alert. So everybody that's watching this information is aware that I'm giving you guys a free auction. For this particular one that I'm giving here in Henderson County, and you guys get this in the slides. This is part of your presentation, okay? You guys get this as part of attendees of Free Education Friday. Henderson County, North Carolina, on May 1st at 10 a.m., there's going to be an auction. It's 200 North Grove Street, Henderson County. It's at the Henderson County Courthouse. All right, it's going to be there on site at the auction. Right now, they show the number of properties and the amount. Those properties at that auction are averaging. They're averaging in the area of $1,000 to $2,000 for houses just like this. All right. I like to share this with you because I only paid $2,000 for this house. And if you pay close attention, you'll see it has 2 doors on it. So at this point, it's just a matter of us understanding the housing landscape, understanding where our children are, right? Our children are now going to be victims of corporate America buying all the housing, of Congress changing the laws on paying real estate agents commission, which will discourage them from actually participating in the sale of real estate. So the Henderson County is having their auction, right? The average price of those houses are between $1,000 and $2,000. I'm going to give you the phone number. You guys that are on Free Education Friday have access to this, but I'm going to give you guys the phone number in which you can call and get all the auction information. I'll give it to you right now. It's 828-697-5595. So everybody put that number in the chat right now so you know it, you memorize it, you understand it, I want you guys to attend the auction. So I gave you an auction that's April 2nd, and then I'm giving you another auction for May 1st. Here's the number. Put the number in the chat. I'm giving you guys an opportunity to get this free information on this Free Education Friday. Henderson County in North Carolina, they are doing an auction. The phone number is 828-697-5595. All right, let's go. Let's get to the next one. If you are on Free Education Friday, if you're watching the webinar, if you're on live, if you're watching this on YouTube, you will get your handouts. It comes with it. So here's why this is so important to me, right? We have to understand our history. We have to understand the power in which we once had, the power, the freedom, right? It's in real estate. If you own real estate, you have time freedom. You no longer have to work because you're collecting rent. So each of these doors and this particular property today, they're paying me. They are paying me rent money. So I don't have to report to a 9 to 5 every day. It allows me time freedom. But more importantly than time freedom, from a historical perspective, land was the equal of freedom in slavery. So this particular article that I pointed out here, it shows that African Americans or freed slaves back then and their descendants accumulated 19 acres of land. During this Reconstruction period, Black landowners purchased every available and affordable piece of land that they could, meaning the more land you have, the more freedom you have, the more power you have. We just call it today, like we might call it time freedom. So anybody asks, hey, if you won the lotto, what would you do? They say they travel, they'll spend more time with their kids, their parents. All that stuff is just time, right? They're just saying what they would do with their time. The money just buys them the time. So when you buy real estate, you're actually acquiring the power and the freedom to do the things that you really want to do, as opposed to going back and forth to work every day. All right, so that's what the money is. Today, I want us, and this is why I do Free Education Friday. This is why I teach the way I teach. This is why I give the way that I give today. I'm going to give you guys the money and the auctions where you can go buy, and I quote, you can go buy every available and affordable piece of land that you have. Going forward, we'll teach you how to convert, right? We'll teach you how to take those doors into dollars, right? These are doors. There's 2 doors here. That's a 2-family unit. We're going to teach you how to turn that into dollars. But it's important that you understand the purpose behind purchasing real estate. You are purchasing power. You're purchasing freedom. So when I talked about what corporate America is doing and how it's gotten in our way, I want to revert back to one of my favorite quotes by Marcus Aurelius, right? The fact that they tried to buy so many properties, the fact that corporate America, the real estate trust funds, the real estate investment trust, right? All of that, they tried to do that, showed us, it was clear indication to us that this is the direction that we need to go. They've always had a lead on us, right? They've always dictated the market and always had a lead on us. However, Congress has put a temporary stop. They put a moratorium on huge companies from buying all of the real estate that they can. So the quote says to me, when I read the article in the New York Times and when I read the other one in the Wall Street Journal, the article tells me, right, and I'm going to quote this from Marcus Aurelius, right? It says, the impediment to action advances the action. What stands in your way becomes the way. So what I want you to understand is the fact that they were buying up all these properties, it tells us we have to go that route for generational wealth, for our kids to be safe, for our kids to be able to buy property, for our kids to not have to pay rent to their kids. We have to go that route. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, if you become an entrepreneurial thinker, you don't become as alarmed by that news or by those articles as everyone else is. You understand, hey, that's the way. They got caught trying to buy all the single family homes. It's gonna be revealed soon. They're getting caught trying to suppress realtors from selling you guys your starter homes, your single family homes, the first time home buyers. This stuff is starting to blow up, right? So what's happening is real estate is going to be the new power. It's not going to be money. They're not trying to reinvest and invest in everything else all over the world to make money, because they know they have to. The power is going to be in the real estate. You can have all the money you want to, but where are you going to live? You can have all the crypto. Where are you going to live? You can have all the Bitcoin. Where are you going to live? All it's going to be is whoever goes out and chases money, right? Whoever goes out and chases money is going to have to pay real estate. They're going to have to pay landlords. There's no wiggle way about it. You had better be buying real estate if you plan to have a future for you and your kids and your family going forward. So here's another interesting stat too that I wanted to read. And I want you guys to just have a clear understanding of this. Like, what is happening has been predicted for years to come. We knew where we were going to be in 2024 and 2014. A lot of it has been predicted. So here's a recent article from CNN that I want to share. And yes, family, I read a lot. I wake up every day at 4 in the morning and I read these articles. And to those that don't read, they just go by them. They swipe right by the data. For those that do read, you get the information and then you get to take action on the data that you're attaining. All right. So this one stat I want to share with you guys is extremely important. And here's what it says. White Americans have far more wealth than Black Americans. And they talked about here's how big the wealth gap is. Now, later in the article, and this is what grabbed me to share this. We know they have more money than Black people. We know that. But here's what grabbed me. It's going to take African Americans 92 years to close the wealth gap by just 8%. However, they said, and this is what stood out to me, right? This is what really struck me and stood out to me. They're saying for Hispanics to close the wealth gap 8%, it's only going to take them 52 years. It's only going to take Hispanics 52 years, whereas African Americans is going to take 92 years. And I want to be very clear about that. Can anybody respond in the chat and tell me why? This is the most important article that I read this year. This is it, right? We understand the stats and everything else that's going on. Can you guys tell me why that stat exists? Just put it in the chat. Why is it going to be faster for Hispanics to close the wealth gap than it is for the African Americans? Please tell me why. I need to understand why. You got it. You got it. The number one concept in the Hispanic culture, the number one moral and the number one value that they live by is family. Okay? Amongst the African American community, the family is started to be dispersed. The divorce rate is at an all-time high. Parents not living together is at an all-time high. Broken families is at an all-time high, like an all-time high. However, in the Hispanic community, it's not at an all-time high. And what they're realizing and understanding, what that means to you is that they are fighting 2 incomes versus African Americans having 1 income. Okay? That's all that means. The mother has an income, that's a household. The father has an income, that's his household. In the Hispanic community, it's combined. The mother and the father have a combined household. Therefore, they will close the wealth gap faster than we will, based on the statistics and based on the direction in which we are going. So here's what I'm going to propose to you guys as the answer of what I feel like we should do. Here's the answer to what we should do. So we understand the problem and what it is. The solution, right? And I'm going to give you guys the money to go buy those properties. The solution is we have to connect as if we were family, okay? We have to connect as if we were family. Family doesn't mean relatives, right? We understand we fight and argue with our family members. Put a fire in the chat if you got family members that you don't speak to. Put a fire in the chat right now if you have family members that you do not speak to. I'm not talking about that family. I'm talking about the individuals that we can connect with. Those individuals are your relatives, okay? Those are your relatives. I'm talking about connecting with individuals that are like-minded as a family. So here's an example of how I've done it on 5 different occasions, but I'll share with you 3 to 4. D-Day, the group that there on the top left, that's D-Day, where we connected as families. Everybody on the Landbank team connected, locked arms. Everybody has property. We traveled to Birmingham, Alabama, and we went to see our properties, the land that we own. We all went to see it. We took pictures. It was an awesome day. Picture number 2 on the right is a picture of an event that I did last year where I gave an award ceremony to one individual on the Landbank team who got funded over $100,000 in her first month, and she went on to buy 6 properties within her first 3 months. Then we have on the bottom is where a day we call Deed Day, which is free to Landbank team members, where I took them to Michigan, where we own tons and tons of properties, but I introduced them to my contractors, my warehouses, my hardware store, Landbank team personnel, and things like that. These people become my family. All you have to do is seek out a community of like-minded individuals under the right tutelage, lock arms as family, and we can start to close that wealth gap. And that's why I share that information with you guys so much. The bottom picture on the left-hand corner, that's a picture of a charter bus. So we're chartering a bus now to go to an auction, or we've chartered a bus now under the Buy the Block challenge that we just finished to go to an auction that has over 600 properties. We have over 150 people, and we calculated the net worth that's going to be increased on that one day by our community. It will be over $1.5 million of net worth gain in one day based on this Buy the Block challenge. So in saying that, the answer to us connecting, the answer to us closing the wealth gap, the answer to us having power going forward, it's not in the money, it's in real estate. It's in three key values that we have to understand and that we have to adopt in order to succeed and move forward. And I'll tell you what those key values are. We have to start to connect. We have to connect in that family style atmosphere. Then we have to grow in the sense of net worth, right? So now on that particular day, we'll have a family of 150 people who already have a baseline net worth, but it's going to increase by $1.5 million based on our activity at the auction during that day. And then the final thing, the final piece of these core values that we have to adopt is we have to cash flow. So we're going to teach you how to buy the properties, and we're going to connect and buy them together. But then we have to cash flow, because owning a bunch of land is powerful. But what's more powerful if we now start making others pay us rent for the properties that we own. So I have to be able to teach you guys, and I invite you to allow me to teach you how to connect, grow, and cash flow in a community perspective. All right, here's the solution, right? We put together a system, and it took me maybe 7 years to put this system together. We put together a system that's going to teach you guys how to acquire land and houses as soon as possible. For the last few months, I got to tell you guys, my mentorship was closed. I wasn't taking new mentorships. I wasn't marketing new mentorships. I was really focused on the Buy the Block challenge because I wanted to see if, in fact, it was possible for us to be able to put together hundreds of students together and see if they would be able to connect, grow, and cash flow. So I actually closed my mentorship. That initiative is still going on, in which May 17th, we're actually going to an auction together. We're locking arms. We're in unison. We're not fighting. We're not bidding against each other. We're just going to go there and buy properties for $500, $600, $700 that are worth $15,000 to $25,000 at that auction on average. So we already have proven that the concept works. We've already proven that the system that's put together actually works. But here's what I want to do for you guys today. I want to open my mentorship. That's going to include the funding that I'm going to give you. It's going to include 2 dates to go to auctions to buy properties in person and online. I gave you 2 in which you can go to by yourself. I'm going to give 2 more in which we can all go collectively together. I've already helped 2,000 families in doing this. If you guys watch my posts, you see it all the time. Like every single week, I'm posting someone else win their property. I can literally post every day from now to the rest of the year, someone thanking me for helping them get the property in which they own now. So here's what I want you guys to do. To join this, right? To join my mentorship, I want you, and we have fun. You could use the funding for mentorship as well as to purchase the property. I want you to use it to grow. That's what the funding is for that I'm going to give you guys on the next slide. However, it's important that you understand that you must use it in a way that you can connect with other individuals, you can grow, and then you can cash flow. So here's what you have to do. You have to text the word connect to 914-615-5534. Everybody, please put that number in the chat. 914-615-5534. I'm going to put the number here now so we can all get it. 914-615-5534. So here's what it allows us to do. Here's what it allows us to do. We're going to connect as a family. We're going to connect as a unit. This mentorship, right? It's $3,000. It's only $3,000. This is not the bundle mentorship or the done for you for $25,000. I've lowered the price to only $3,000. That's it, right? That's it. You have to text the number 914-615-5534. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the promise that we're going to deliver. We are going to act as family. We understand acting as family can advance us 10, 20, 30, 40 years ahead, right? So we're going to connect as family. We're going to grow in the sense that we are actually going to go out and buy properties at auctions together. So part of the initiative, you have to get funded, unless you have a ton of money already, right? You don't need a lot. The auctions I gave you earlier were houses like this for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, okay? We have to grow in acquiring properties. We only want individuals that are serious about purchasing properties, okay? We only want individuals that are serious about purchasing houses and owning duplexes for $2,000 and $3,000, $4,000, just like this one behind me. And then the mentorship is going to include every single opportunity there is that you may need to cash flow. And when I say cash flow, that's going to cover everything from dirt to dollars. It's going to cover renovating properties like this with contractors, warehouses, lenders, plumbers, electricians, and then how to go about acquiring them. Then we're going to go to the land space where you can buy properties for $300. This is going to show you how you can buy these properties, and all you guys have to do is text the word connect to 914-615-5534. The mentorship is going to walk you through until completion. It's not a 2-week, it's not a 6-week, it's not an 8-week. We're locking arms as family. This is going to connect you until you turn these doors into dollars, okay? It's a doors to dollars mentorship, okay? From land, we're going to work with you until you have a structure on the property. Some of you guys want land to farm. We'll work with you until you have the farmers, until you have crops on your property. Some of you guys want land for campsites. We'll work with you until we do. So I'm actually doing one now in Lincoln County, Georgia. We'll work with you as far as building a tiny home, a mobile home, a manufactured home, or a modular home. If you don't know the difference, we'll educate you, but they're all different grades and different types of home, as well as ground up construction. If you look hard enough on my social media, you'll see me on doing ground up construction. I'm actually in the middle of another project in Birmingham, Alabama, where I'll show you guys exactly how to do that as well. So you guys get access to that level of mentorship, but that's the tutelage. It's more important that you have access to the family members that are like-minded. It's extremely important that you have access to the money, okay? So we need the money. We need to be able to get the money, in which we have the banks and the lenders and financing that are willing to help with this initiative, that are willing to help people with bad credit, okay? So if you thought you wasn't going to be able to get approved because you have bad credit, you will be able to get some money towards this initiative. All you have to do is text 914-615-5534. Text the word connect. We have to connect, grow, and finally, we have to cash flow. For those of you that are part of Free Education Friday, what I'm going to do on the next slide, I am going to go to our handouts, and I'm going to just give you guys everything that you need for funding. All right. Check your handout slide. You guys will see that you guys have handouts here in which you can get the actual information. What I'm going to do in the chat for everybody that's listening, what I'm going to do in the chat, I'm going to give you guys everything that you need to get the funding. I'm actually going to put the link right now in the chat. All right. Now, you guys get an opportunity, being that we're live, you guys get an opportunity to ask any questions that you want. Is there anything that I could? All right. So you guys put that. Here's the funding link if you don't have it already. Here is the funding link if you don't have it already. All right, so let's get to any questions that anyone may have had. I see some people. I see Ruthie, Stephen, Smith. Okay, I see you guys had some questions. Carrie, let's see if we can get to your questions. Oh, you guys are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Stacy, I'm so glad you asked that, making a point. It's the saddest thing in America how we are still so disconnected and seeing we are moving even more in that direction. No. That is just the environment in which you happen to be in. I'm in an environment surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people that understand that they need to buy properties. The environment I'm in is around people that are buying properties every single day. I have students that are buying 9 properties, 8 properties, 4, 5, 6 properties all the time. We are locked in, connected as family under this mentorship, and we are growing at a rapid rate. Somebody asked to share the number again. I hope you got the number at this point. Broken families, wealth disparities. Yes, we know it's sad. It's sad. Hispanics works together as a group. Black people do everything separate. Yeah, that's the reality of it. But we can no longer operate in that way. We can no longer operate that way. We can't afford to operate that way. We're losing. You see people come to the country and pass us. Different ethnic groups come to the country and pass us. The reason is that we don't operate under these family values. I didn't say we had to do it with relatives. I didn't say you have to go patch up that relationship with the person you didn't speak to for 6 years to do it. All you have to do is join the mentorship and get new family. Your relatives are your relatives. Your family is who you decide to spend your time with and who you decide to call your family. That's who your family is. So the solution in this mentorship is for us to lock arms, is for us to be together, is for us to stick together in this same capacity. Yeah, they support each other and they work together. It's sad. I agree. All right. The land was stolen. Yes. So look, I'm not talking about what happened a billion years ago, because what happened a billion years ago is over. No one's giving anything back. Okay. Let's operate and act as if no one is giving anything back. If we operated with that mindset, we'll start to get it back on our own. Instead of sitting back waiting, and we operated with the mindset that we can just go get whatever it is that we wanted, and we can actually be proactive. We got money, we can buy it back. Together, right? Together, we can we have accumulated blocks. We actually have built out neighborhoods in certain parts of the country. Some of you guys are from a challenge that I did recently, and you actually got a chance to see how powerful we are when we buy properties in that manner, when we buy properties in that perspective way. All right, so guys, I'm going to give you another opportunity. I will post the link for funding. If anybody needs funding, it's Free Education Friday. I don't care whether you join or don't join or not, whatever the case may be. Take advantage of the funding opportunity that I gave you. Just take advantage of it. It's like an opportunity that I gave to you. Go ahead and get yourself funded. You wanted to do it together. We've been operating, so I expect a number of you to just try and do it yourself. I gave you guys the auction information, all right? I gave it to you. So if you wanted to go separate, as they talked about earlier, if you wanted to go separate, if you wanted to do it by yourself, and fly solo and try to lift this heavy mountain and close 92 years worth of wealth gap by yourself, I gave you the information. I gave the number, and I want you guys to text the word connect to that phone number so we can do it together. So if you needed help, you have family members that you can get help from. If you needed guidance, you guys have me. I have over 400 properties, over 34 doors. I'm building in 3 different states right now, ground up. I know how to help you guys. I know how to teach you. We have to be thankful for this, for the internet, which allowed us to share this information and connect in this way today. And we can't lose sight of the opportunity that we have in place now. So I'm going to post the number for funding post the link for funding one more time. I'm going to share the number with you guys one more time. And then we actually have to go because I have to go shoot another podcast for the Landbank show today. How do you access the slides? Cassandra, click on slides. Click on handouts because I put handouts in here. I put handouts in this portal so you guys have access to it. Here it is. Here they are. Here they are. I am now sharing the files. For those that left, you probably won't get the files. I'm now sharing the files with you guys. So I apologize if I didn't share the files earlier. I'm now sharing the files with you guys right now so you guys can see the files. Copy the file, download it, do everything you have to do to it. So with that being that I just shared, I'm going to stay for like 2 to 3 more minutes. For those of you that text the number connect, you will be contacted by a member on my team that will get you on the new initiative of my mentorship all over again. I appreciate you guys. For those that did not text the word connect, tell me why you did not, because we just had, I think it was 36. It's actually 36 people that text the word connect. Tell me why in the chat, why you did not text connect and why you do not want to work with us collectively as a group. You have to text that number connect, 914-615-5534. Don't put it in the chat. You have to text connect to that word. Somebody in the chat who did not respond connect, let me know why you did not. Okay. How do we access the handouts? Me too. That's the solution. We're family over here in the Land Bank. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. All right. So look, so it sounds like everybody's just going to text that word and join this movement. And family, this is a huge movement. This is a huge movement that we're doing. By the end of the year, we should be over increased net worth. I'm going to say like $5 to $10 million. In one day, we're going to do easily $5 million in one day. And that's our Deeds Under Trees initiative that we do at the end of the year. It's just going to be flooded with people and buying properties all over the country. However, for those of you that text the word connect now, you get an opportunity to get in and get the price and get the properties that are really expensive at very low cost, meaning they're worth $40,000. You'll be able to get them for $600, $700. I gave the link in the files for you guys to be able to get the money. So I recommend you guys do what you have to do now. We cannot wait. The wealth gap is getting further and further. And the plan is, I'm going to tell you guys the plan, but you'll see it if you pay attention to the news. Look at the news today, family. Just Google any article. Just Google real estate, realtors commissions being dropped, being slashed, being taken away. The only reason they're doing that is to make it harder for individuals to now go out and buy houses like this. That's why the rates are slashed. That's the only reason. Big companies, corporate America, REITs, real estate investment trusts, hedge funds want to buy up all the houses, lock everyone out that doesn't have one, and now they have you as perpetual renters for the rest of your life. They will buy the properties. They don't have to sell. So they buy them, they own them, and rent them. They're putting a chokehold on the economy and kicking us out. So if we don't act fast, if we don't act now, we will not be able to play in the real estate market. It just won't happen. We won't have a chance to buy real estate anymore going forward. So, I mean, at this point, we don't have a whole lot of opportunity. Here's what I'm going to do. For everyone that attended, I'm going to send you the slides. I'm going to email you the slides. I read them to you, but I'm going to email you the slides so you guys have them. I'll email you the funding link. I'll email you the slides as well. All right. Thank you for attending this episode of Free Education Friday. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Let's stay connected. If there's anything you missed, just shoot me a DM on Instagram and ask for it. When this episode comes out on the Landbank show, you'll have the slides, the notes of the slides that will all be in the notes of the Landbank show. You can also text Connect to 914-615-5534. Thank you guys so much for attending. Until next Friday, I will see you all. Free Education Friday.